Welcome to Simply Stylish DIY, where we take ordinary to extraordinary. DIY number 1, Scarecrow jar with raffia hair. Supplies you'll need for this one are one of the jars from Dollar Tree, or any jar would work. I've got this square one with a flat face. You'll also need some raffia, flowers of your choice, some puffy paint in black, orange, and white, and also some burlap ribbon. Next, we're going to create a hat, and we're going to take it and put it on the inside of the jar lid to make the brim. Next, I'm going to take this roll of burlap ribbon I picked up at Dollar Tree, and we're going to make the brim of the Scarecrow's hat with it. What we're going to do is put a little bit of hot glue on the inside of the jar lid, and then I'm going to take the end of the burlap ribbon, put that over it just a little bit, and glue it down. We're going to then take it and kind of pinch it together and fold it over it to make like a little pleat. So we're going to do that all the way around the jar lid until you have it completely covered and all the little pleats put in. I made them about maybe an inch wide. Just pull the ribbon and fold it over to make the next pleat, and do that until you get the jar lid covered. After you have that all the way around the jar lid, you're going to come to the end and go ahead and clip off your ribbon and take your glue and glue that two pieces down so you can have a nice finished edge look. I wanted to use raffia to do the Scarecrow's hair, but I had this leftover Hula skirt that I picked up at Dollar Tree to do some other DIYs, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to use it. I'm just going to cut off a little gob of it, and I'm going to stick it down in the jar just to see how much I'm going to need to go ahead and fill in for the Scarecrow's face, so you can see it here through the glass. And I'm going to go ahead and tuck that in there a little bit, and then I'm going to take some and fold it over and see how much I'm going to use to make his little wild hair here. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that in, pull it out, because we're going to use that again in just a few minutes. To finish up the little hat, we're going to take another piece of the burlap ribbon, go ahead and glue the edge down here to the inside of the jar where we put those little pleats, where we glued those. Hold that down for just a second so it can dry, and then take your ribbon all the way around, gluing it in places, and all the way around to the edge. Snip that piece of ribbon and glue that in, and you'll have the top of the hat finished. Those edges that you have there of the ribbon, that when you're finishing up your hat, go ahead and just glue those together and pinch the glue so you'll have a good nice seal. So I'm going to take that little gob of hula skirt hair that we created when we folded it over earlier and stick it in the top of the hat. Then go ahead and trim up some of the loose edges for the wispy little hairs. Just to make sure you have a good seal on the edge of the hat, just take your glue, hold that piece of ribbon up that we made the little pleats in, and make sure that you press that down with your fingers to glue it to the jar. To finish off our hat, I'm going to take this ribbon. I picked this up at Joann when it was on clearance. I thought it would be pretty to use where it's an orange plaid. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to find the front of the jar that I'm going to use to put the little face. I'm going to go ahead and glue that on, tucking it down into the little pleats, and glue that all the way around to the edges, and just glue it down in the back to make a nice finish edge seal. I had this big orange flower, sunflower in my stash. I thought this would be a perfect place to put it here on the edge of the brim. So I'm going to put some hot glue on it and hold it on until it dries. Next, I wanted just a little piece of greenery for some leaves to put around the orange flower. So I picked up one of the leaves that it came with and trimmed it down in size just to make it look more suitable to put here on the edges. Next, I'll make sure I have all the glue dusted off the front, and we're going to paint the little face. To create our little Scarecrow's eyes, we're going to take some black puffy paint, and we're going to make almost like a teardrop shape. So we're going to make two little ovals here with just a little bit of a point at the top. Go ahead and create the eyes, and then take your puffy paint and fill those in. Next, we're going to take some orange puffy paint, and we're going to make a triangle between his little eyes, and then we're going to take our paint and fill that in. back in with our black. Make sure that you have all of the little bubbles shook out and you have a clean tip, and we're going to go around the perimeter of the orange triangle just to give it a little bit of definition. We're going to keep using our black puffy paint to make his little smile. You can make just a regular smile here. You can make a little crooked half circle, but I'm going to take it and just make a squiggly line and then make two little C's here in the corners just to have his little grin turn up. And last, to finish out his little face, we're going to take our white puffy paint and make some little marks here in the corners. We're going to make like little half moons, and then to give that little twinkle in his eye, we're going to take it and make a little dot up in the opposite corner. Okay, here's our finished product on this one. I hope you enjoyed this DIY. It's so fun and easy to make. You can make a little girl scarecrow. Just create some pigtails with the raffia or hula skirt and tuck them underneath her hat. That would be adorable to sit these two together. These would also be great to take to a craft show and sell or a gift. The possibilities are really unlimited because you could change his little faces and make all kinds of different ones to sit together. DIY number 2, wood slice scarecrow. Supplies you'll need for this DIY are 2 of the round wood slices. You also need some of the hula skirt like we used in the last DIY. You also need that same color puffy paint, the orange, white, and black, some ribbon, and one of the little scarecrow hats, and a tiny little flower and pine cone. I'm going to choose 2 wood slices here. That one has a flat bottom. That way I can take this little wood cube from Dollar Tree and support it when I glue it all together in the end. First, we're going to work on the scarecrow's hair. I'm going to take this raffia looking hula skirt that we used in the last DIY. The easiest way I found, instead of having to glue it on individually, is just take a gob of it, wrap it around your hand several times. We're going to use this to create its little bangs. So I'm going to take it, put the little gob here on the top. This looks terrible, I know, to start out with, but just bear with me because it'll work out here in the end. Take some hot glue, glue it to the top, hold it down until it dries. And then we're going to make sure that you have enough glue there. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to repeat with another little gob, glue it down too. And then once we have that down, we're going to cut that. The part I cut off, I'm going to put that aside and use it for another DIY later. But I'm going to take my scissors and just cut that gob loose. And we're just going to take our fingers then and fluff it up, because this will be the scarecrow's little bangs like on its little forehead, because we're going to do something else in a minute to make longer hair on the sides. I bought several packs of these little scarecrow hats last year at Dollar Tree because I thought they would be really cute to use for snowmen, that I could paint them. But I'm going to use one now for the scarecrow, so I'm going to remove one of those out of the pack. And I'm also going to take some of the hula skirt, and I'm going to take it here and just tie in a knot, just so I have the same amount on each side. I'm going to trim that up later, but this way, I initially thought about gluing the little gob to the hat, but instead I wanted to make it flat. So to keep it all together, I'm going to use that in just a second. But first, I'm going to take this thin ribbon in the orange like gingham and just make some embellishments on the hat just to give it a little bit more pop. I'm going to take it, put a little bit of glue on it, and glue that around the brim of the hat. Glue those edges down on the ribbon just to make it have a nice finished look. I glued it to the back side where the hat was pieced together, so everything will be back there. I clipped this little flower off from another flower arrangement. I thought it would be cute to add to the edge of the hat just here on this side. And I'm going to glue that there. And I also did the same thing with this little pine cone. I'm going to remove that little piece of glue where I took it off, add some more hot glue, and tuck it here on the edge. Going back to that hair that I'm going to use, I'm going to take my scissors, hold it tight so it don't come loose in the bundle, clip there beside of the knot, and go ahead and glue that little pile down so you're not having to glue them individually. This way you can have the little gob of hair that's going to stick out both sides of the hat. After you get those little strings to glue down, go ahead and take your fingers and separate them out, and then we're going to put some glue on the underneath the hat after we work out all the little strings of hair, and we're going to glue that on kind of lopsided on the top of the wood slice for the hair to fall to the sides. Next, I'm going to take my scissors and just give our little scarecrow a haircut. If you want to leave it longer, or if you even wanted to braid those into pigtails on the sides, that would be adorable as well. I'm going to take my scissors and just trim it up. So therefore, now you have your hat with the side pieces and your bangs. I'm going to take my fingers here and fluff up the bangs and make sure that I have it all trimmed up good. If not, I'll just snip those off as I go and make sure that it has the angle to the little bangs, and also make sure that I have it the length I want on the sides. Before I put it all together, I want to go ahead and tie a little ribbon, just like I'm tying my shoes, with the same ribbon that I used to put around the brim of the hat. I'm going to get it tied together and lay it aside, and we'll use that in just a minute. Next, we're going to paint a little scarecrow face, just like we did in the previous DIY. I'm going to use the same method, the same paint, and do those two little teardrop eyes like we did. Put them side by side. I put these a little bit closer because I wanted them to look like he was looking over to the side. So I'm going to make those circles and fill them in. Doing the same thing as we did before, we're going to make a little orange triangle with our orange puffy paint and also fill that in. Taking the black puffy paint, we're just going to go around the orange triangle to give it a little bit of extra dimension. Using that same puffy paint, I'm going to do the same thing with this little grin and make it a little squiggly line with the two little C's turned up on the side, so it looks like his little smile's turned up. Going back with the white, I'm going to take that and make the little half moons here in the corners, put the little dots in the eye to give them a little bit of sparkle. Now we're going to put it together. I'm going to take that little block that I got in that pack from Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue it about 3/4 of the way to the back side, just to give it a little bit of support when we glue the head on. Put some glue on the bottom of the head. I use this part because it was a little bit flat. I put the glue on that little block, and then therefore it's glued to the back and the bottom. And to finish off just the area here at the bottom, I'm going to take that same ribbon, cut a long string, and put it around his little neck and glue it there just a little bit to hold it in place. And I'm going to tie that just in a knot because we're going to take that little bow that we made earlier and put over that like a little tie. Make sure your little face is dry when you do these steps, because you want to make sure that you don't have your ribbon flip up and mess up the paint. The little bow that we made earlier, make it to the size that you want it here. You can pull the tails to make it smaller like I did. Go ahead and trim the little edges off to get them the length that you want them. And if you wanted to cut a little dovetail in it, or if you even wanted to cut it at an angle like I did here, just measure it up and hot glue it there in the middle for his little bow tie. Okay, here's our finished product on this one. I just loved how this turned out. When I bought all these supplies, I didn't know exactly what I was going to make. You can pick up a whole bag of these wood slices at Hobby Lobby. I've noticed that the ones in the wood section are a little bit rougher. If you go to the wedding section, I think this is where I got this pack, they look a whole lot smoother, and I think you get even more bigger ones in those, and that's what I use to make these. Just thought I'd give you that little hack if you wanted to try to look there for wood slices, because I'll have some more upcoming videos, especially around Christmas, to make snowmen. And I just wanted to show a little clip here of them, how cute they look sitting together. I love how the little wood slice eyes are looking up at the little jar, and this would be so cute if you did a whole set to put together. I enjoyed our time together. Thanks for watching. I linked another video here for more crafting inspiration. Be sure to check it out. Have a great day.